back to the Home Turf Podcast. It's me, Hunter Mitchell, joined here with my co-host, Cade Harris.
How's it going?
We are back. Week-long break was in ATL, was in Atlanta, Georgia. Had a good time at the ACP conference. Went to see Georgia Tech.
Got to storm the field.
Georgia Tech. That was super fun. Haynes King, and then saw Haynes King leaving practice a couple of days later. Got a pick with Haynes King, former Aggie. So that was fun. Good time. A little break. In that break, basketball has started up. Super excited for that to start up, which means that basketball content will be coming your way. When we get the scheduling figured out, we'll definitely do a recap of what's ever happened in the season so far when we get figured out, that situated. But yeah, other than that, super excited to be back. And so we'll kick it off with our now week 11 power ranking.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy that we're already in week 11. What is it, like 3 more weeks of the regular season? It's sad, man. College football comes and goes. You said finally? Yeah, you're such a college basketball guy, man. Like, you can't even be sad that college football's ending.
No, I am. I love bowl season. My favorite season, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like second to March Madness, obviously. I love bowl season. So I'm excited to get to that. Let James Madison play. That's all I gotta say about that.
No kidding, bro. That is so ridiculous. Like, they would 100% be in a New Year's Six bowl. Like, now that Air Force lost, like, that's ridiculous and makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, it's absurd, really is. But that's not our job. So that's why we don't get paid for that. Instead, we sit here and not get paid to talk about football.
Yes.
So, start with Vanderbilt. Fun fact about Vanderbilt. They have a thing called the Carmichael Tunnel, which is a 100-yard tunnel connecting East and West Carmichael Towers, which is upperclassmen student housing, and people's initials and notes cover the walls.
That is a fun fact.
That is a fun fact. So number 6 in your power rankings.
Number 6 is South Carolina.
Yeah.
They barely beat the other Gamecocks from Jacksonville State this past weekend.
Cockfight in South Carolina. Come on, that's a silver. That's not even a silver platter because it's not creative. Because that's like
right. Because everyone was talking about it.
It's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, the Cocks were just beating up on each other last weekend. But yeah, nothing. Nothing new from South Carolina other than the fact that, their offensive line is still bad. The defense is pretty average.
Pretty
average at best.
Yeah, South Carolina, you're not making a bowl game.
No.
You can kind of write that ship home. You got Vanderbilt. You'll probably beat. You're most likely going to lose to Kentucky and South Carolina or in Clemson. You'll end 4-8.
Ooh.
Super disappointing season after what was predicted of you. Finished 3rd in the East was the prediction. Spencer Rattler's just had no time to throw at all. Paper thin offensive line. Terracotta Soldiers. Again, it's just playing the same note over and over again from South Carolina. They haven't shown any growth since week 1, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of been the same note over and over again. Xavier Leggett's been your bright spot. So is Rattler to a degree. He's a bright spot in the sense that it's crazy what he's able to do when he gets 0.5 seconds to throw.
Right. Yeah. He definitely would, have a better chance, obviously, behind a better offensive line.
Yeah.
And kind of more of those performances that we saw at the end of last year. Although there are some rumors that, that South Carolina was caught up in that whole Connor Stallions thing.
Yeah.
Going into those last 2 games against Tennessee and Clemson, which makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Like, that team was kind of just out of nowhere. Obviously nothing's official, but, like, it makes sense. But
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know.
The plot thickens.
Guess so.
Well, they could have used him this season, it seems like. Really felt like they could have used old Connor in this one, but they didn't have him. So.
I really thought Beamer would definitely have this program on. He seemed like a good coach for
Culture
good
fit.
player culture, good player coach, good culture fit for South Carolina. I
he,
thought he was going to do well.
I think he still is. You got to give him a little bit longer, but I mean the leash is very short in the SEC.
It is.
I mean, look at Sam Pittman now. He was the golden boy in Arkansas, and now he's got one foot out the door. But yeah, South Carolina, season to forget. I wish I could say you got basketball, but you technically do.
Technically, you will be out there on the basketball court.
I wouldn't be hedging any bets, though. In fifth,
Florida.
Yeah, Florida Gators, super disappointing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeesh.
Wow.
Ruh-roh.
That's pretty much the only word you need to describe a loss against Arkansas this year is just wow. I mean, they only dropped one spot, but still.
That's just because of the stinkers below.
Yeah, exactly. And then even then, like, Kentucky has the head-to-head on Florida. So, I mean, I think they're right where they need to be in that fifth spot.
Yeah, it's just we talked about how we we said Florida was kind of looking like maybe they're on the come up a little bit, and man, we got a verbal curse. We do.
Yeah, they're very inconsistent. It feels like,
and
very inconsistent.
And I mean, we talked about how Florida could still make a bowl game. They were gonna beat Arkansas, and then they just had to steal one from LSU, Missouri, or Florida State. That's not happening.
I mean, if they would have beat Arkansas, they would have
beat. There was
right.
yeah, but not anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it looked like the road ahead was there, but not anymore. They're not beating LSU in Death Valley. They're not beating Missouri in Columbia, and they're not beating Florida State.
No.
I hope for the sanctity and parity of college football that this is a freezing cold take, but it's not going to be.
No.
They are not going to beat them if they couldn't handle Arkansas, at home, nonetheless. That's rough.
Yeah.
Not only losing to Arkansas, but our number 7 team in the West last power rankings. I don't know if that's changed for you at all.
We'll see.
But, yeah, not good. And then above them, the perennial bowl eligible.
Yes, Kentucky.
Forever to the bowl eligibility.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Just,
man, they boost our numbers every year getting in those bowl games.
They really do, yeah. I mean, they definitely help the SEC out in that category, but
beat Mississippi State, super mid.
They're not helping out the SEC by bringing very much national attention to them in, competing for titles, though.
Yeah, no. You get Alabama, good crisp 11 a.m. game. A&M knows a whole lot about those.
Yeah. If you need any pointers, Kentucky fans,
so much so that I legitimately thought this week was an 11 a.m. game. I didn't even realize it was 6:30.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. So you get that may be a pretty good crowd because Kentucky plays A&M Commerce that Friday before. Shout out to A&M Commerce. I always gotta give a shout out real quick. Basketball, always find a way to hark it back. A&M Commerce, Jarrett von Rosenberg. Shout out to him and his family and our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
If you are listening, go hit their GoFundMe for his wife and his family. His wife had a few strokes beginning of October. She's on the road to recovery now, but if you want to help them out, you can find the GoFundMe online. Just search up Jarrett von Rosenberg GoFundMe. It should be the first one that pops up. Anywho, so that weekend you got men's basketball there. So, Kentucky pulls out men's basketball. Kind of a pretty good crowd for the Bama one. Bama is to football what Kentucky is to men's basketball, and that no matter who's playing, they're always going to get probably the biggest crowd of their season because it's just the name.
Right.
So Kentucky theoretically has a chance. I mean, again, this is all like college football is crazy, man. You never know.
It is crazy, and I was looking at that game earlier, thinking like, it's sneaky. It's sneaky. I don't expect Kentucky to win, obviously, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on.
It could be one that maybe Bama gets caught sleepwalking. With Nick Saban, I don't think they do. But, I mean, even last week's game against Mississippi State, definitely it was only 13 for 22 with 156 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, but 156 passing yards, yeesh.
Yeah, that was a matchup of two quarterbacks who have
It was a
severe. Although Will Rogers didn't play.
Yeah, it was Mike Wright.
That's right. That's right. I take that back.
Still
could have been
big mid off.
Could have been a matchup of two of the most underperforming quarterbacks in the league this year.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Wright was slinging it for Vanderbilt, so I would still say underperforming there to an extent. Yeah, it's tough for Kentucky. You know what the standard is there. Identifying the standard, I really think helps you kind of decide what it is they value in the season. If it is bowl eligibility, hey man, go crazy, go get us some. Oh no, they can't win us Blooming Onions anymore. The Outback Bowl isn't a.
No, rest in peace.
Kentucky can't win us Blooming Onions or coconut shrimp.
Oh man,
dang it!
Can they still win us like the Mayo Bowl?
Oh, I don't want mayonnaise.
You don't want mayonnaise dumped on
no, because
Stoop's head?
Dude, you have no idea how much I love Blooming Onions.
I've never had one.
You've never had Blooming Onion?
No, dude. I want to try the Texas Roadhouse one.
Oh God, what are they called? Like it's like cactus flower.
Yeah,
or something.
cactus something.
Yeah, cactus bloom or something.
Cactus blossom.
Dude, cactus blossom, dude. I would actually get so excited for the Outback Bowl. You know how mad I would get when the coconut shrimp would win? Oh my God, dude. Oh man, dang
darn coconut shrimp.
Now I'm real mad that Kentucky can't go win us some Blooming Onions, man.
I just want them to play Iowa.
Oh God,
what a matchup that would be.
That wasn't that last year's bowl game?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. No.
No?
Please. Please no. We don't need that again. That last year's game it went exactly how you would expect.
I don't think Iowa scored. Did they?
They scored defensive touchdown.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Did you see that? Okay. Side note. Did you see the lowest ever over under was set for the Northwestern and Iowa game? Last week.
Really?
The one that was at I think Wrigley. You know what's crazy?
It hit under, right? It was 17. Under. They scored 17 points in the game.
It hit under.
That doesn't surprise me.
The lowest ever over under.
What was it set at? Do you know?
I think it was like.
Because I remember the Minnesota Iowa over under this year was set at like 36.5 or something. Like
it was like 29.
Holy cow!
I'm pretty sure it was 29.
That's crazy. I mean, hey, it's a good line, obviously.
Jeez. Oh
yes.
man.
I'm sure that was a thriller for all those people who were at Wrigley Field and got to witness a 10-7 Northwestern Iowa battle. That's an exciting
baseball score.
Oh yeah, if that was their baseball game, I mean, you definitely hit that. But they were kind of given a tribute to the Cubs with them playing at Wrigley. Had to make it a baseball score.
Oh man!
And that was a game had major implications in the Big Ten West. Iowa is first place in the Big Ten West, playing Rutgers this weekend in a huge matchup.
Oh God, that's so funny. Man, I don't know how we got on this. Oh, I don't know how we got on this. I'm talking about Kentucky. So I assume you're number 3.
Tennessee. Yeah. Obviously. Number 3 and number 2 will kind of go at it this weekend. That might solidify that. But I think for now, Tennessee there.
Smoked UConn. That's what you expect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. That Missouri hanging tight with Georgia.
With Georgia, yeah. Hey, shout out Eli Drinkwitz, man.
Yeah.
He's had a great season. What he's been able to do there in such little time, like, props to him. And I wouldn't mind him being in College Station at some point.
Your pick. We'll do a head coaching candidates segment in the football episode.
Maybe.
But I mean, yeah, Tennessee is kind of been that team that a little bit like Kentucky, but like the premium version of Kentucky, kind of hovering. Like they're not bad, and they're better than the rest. But like I really do think Missouri comes in and beats Tennessee next week.
I think so too.
I think defensively, Missouri can handle a lot, and I think Tennessee is very one-dimensional. I think Milton has been better. He had a good first half against Bama. Obviously smoked UConn, not really anything to write home about. He's been better passing-wise there, but I think this Missouri defense will be a very big shock. Now, do I think Tennessee could win? Most definitely. I mean, it's the SEC. You never know. But they're playing at Faurot Field. I think it's gonna be a huge crowd. 2:30 kickoff. It's the CBS kickoff.
Missouri playing for 10 regular season wins,
which is super. I mean, they went out. I mean, it's not just possible. It's
likely. I would say.
Yeah.
They played Arkansas the last week. I don't know who's
Florida
in between. Oh yeah, that's right, Florida
at Missouri.
Okay.
I
totally
think
doable.
I really do think they went out. And I think it's a super impressive year for Missouri. Talked to a guy from the Maneater while I was on the conference. Super stunned at where Missouri football is at right now. But hey, props to him. Like you said, you love to see that kind of grow. And being number 2 right behind our number 1 in our East, Georgia. I assume that I would hope.
No,
Georgia's
I definitely jumped Missouri over Georgia this week after they lost to them.
I don't want to speak for you, man. But
yeah,
I think Tennessee are 3, and then I think Missouri. I think Missouri just outright beats Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I could even see by 10, 13 even. But I expect it to be close, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a double-digit victory for Missouri.
Yeah, me neither.
Florida, Missouri handles Florida. They handle Arkansas. And they end the season second in the East behind Georgia, which is a hell of an accomplishment, and almost beat Georgia. Gave them hell,
Mm-hmm.
So I think the East is kind of shaping up in that direction, and props to the Missouri Tigers.
Mm-hmm. Gold Tigers.
That's the West, the fun, wild, wild West.
Who do you have in your 7? I finally have them in my 7.
Do you?
Mississippi State.
Oh, let's go!
Your favorite number 7.
Oh man, they're so bad.
They lost to Auburn, so
they're so fine. Man, I was so excited when I saw that score, and I saw that Auburn was beating them. I was like, let's go. Finally, we can lay these demons to rest. We can bury this. Mississippi State is worse than Auburn, and now with Arkansas beating Florida, I gotta give Arkansas some credit there. Yeah. Going on the road, winning and in the swamps, never easy. So Mississippi State, you are this week's biggest loser.
Oh yeah. Even though you won your last game.
Yeah, but
I think. Wait, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. No,
they lost. They lost.
Yeah.
They lost.
We just talked about how they lost.
Yeah, we just lost.
They suck.
They're terrible.
They're really bad.
They lost to Auburn, man, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I mean, they lost.
They scored 7 against Arkansas, but they won.
Which is why sometimes head-to-heads are just
right. Yeah, that's why a 4-point difference, I don't think I watched that game, and I don't even know if I watched the highlights for it. And so,
what highlights?
Exactly. And so I don't know how the game went, what could have happened, but yeah.
Highlights are 15 seconds and it's one play.
It's just one field goal kick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, basketball. Opening Arizona State, although they have 2 of their guards out, I saw, and Tolu Smith out for this Arizona State game. So,
hey, Mississippi State, though, they've beaten a team who is currently in the top 25.
Which is?
I'll give you a guess.
I'm trying to think if they've gone back and, man, who
it's not in the conference. So, think out of conference. Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Arizona is ranked because they're beating up on bad Pac-12 teams, but whatever. If Mississippi State can beat Arizona, and then Arizona can go, let's see what they are, 4-2 in their conference, then your conference is bad. Sorry, Pac-12.
That's a very good argument, and I'm definitely not going to mention the fact that I ranked Arizona in my student media poll. We're gonna hop, skip, jump.
I feel like it's fair, but their record is due to.
Yeah,
I just feel like that conference is not good.
Yeah.
They have Washington and Oregon.
But you gotta give credit where it's credit's due. The teams are ranked in there for a reason,
right.
So you beat them. You gotta be expected to be ranked as well. But yeah, so Mississippi State down there.
Number 6.
Yeah, number 6.
Arkansas.
Arkansas moved up 1. You beat Florida. You're still bad.
Yeah.
You're your snowball's chance in hell of making a bowl game. We thought maybe he had a shot after you got kind of through the early gauntlet, but you don't. KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders have just severely underwhelmed. Just been a real rough season for the Razorbacks, and Sam Pittman looks like he may be. His belly will be first, but he will be leaving the door.
Look, I'm not saying that they're going to make a bowl. I'm not at all, because I don't think they will. They play Auburn this week. I think that could be a win.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it will be. It's in Fayetteville. Then they play FIU. That better be a win.
That's a win. That should be a win.
That makes you one win away from a bowl going into your last game at home against Missouri. So it's interesting.
Interesting is the word.
It's definitely a chance. I wouldn't say that you're going to make a bowl. I still think you go 1 and 2 out. I think
a lot of 2 and 15 seed matchups are very interesting. Does it usually play out? Occasionally.
Princeton.
Not
in the case of Princeton.
Occasionally, St. Peter's. You get a St. Peter's. But not usually. Also, fun fact. Holloway, who coached St. Peter's, when Seton Hall. Seton Hall played.
They played
St. Peter's
opening night, right? Or
yeah,
was it?
It was their season opener, which is crazy.
Who won that game?
It was
because I saw St. Peter's was up like in the second half, which was like holy cow.
Yeah, they were close, but yeah, Seton Hall pulled away 70-59.
Okay. Wow.
Which respect to the Peacocks, man.
Oh yeah. That was such a fun run.
You love to see it. But
Auburn's in your 5? Has to be, right?
Auburn's in the 5. Again, there is a lot of mediocrity, then there's a lot of elitism, and then there's one team floating in the middle in limbo, and we know exactly what team the limbo team is.
Yeah.
It's floating, it's sinking more and more down to the bottom the farther we go. But yeah, Auburn in that 5th spot, kind of just broken record saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
5 and 4, not bad. I mean,
you win this week, you're in a bowl. Go Hugh Freeze.
I mean,
they didn't do that last year.
They'll definitely be. I will say, okay, I'm not gonna say definitely in a bowl.
They're definitely making a bowl. Auburn, they play New Mexico State.
You've seen the New Mexico State team, man? They're going to be playing for the Conference USA Championship game, most likely.
Really?
They're 7-2.
Wow. I mean,
don't hate on the Aggies, man.
They got a big game against Jacksonville State to end the season that will kind of decide if they do make that conference championship. But yeah.
Like they're up for the race for it.
I still feel
I think they win it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But
they lost to New Mexico State lost to UMass, bro.
But Auburn looking ahead to the Iron Bowl, maybe on the Plains. I'm just saying
it's a trap game. Huh?
I'm just saying. Do not write off New Mexico State. Will they probably win by 30? Yes. Could it be one that in the fourth quarter, Auburn fans' seats are a little clenched more than they usually are, and their knuckles are a little wider than usual?
Possibly is the word.
But yeah, no, I mean Auburn, you have like an 80% chance to make a bowl game. So good on you. Still can't win us any blooming onions either, but maybe you'll get us like a cool fossil watch or something,
like a armed forces something.
Yeah, I don't know the SEC automatic. Music City is one. Music City. Outback was one.
Right. I'm trying to think.
Texas Bowl.
Yeah, Texas. That's probably where A&M's headed. December 27th, A&M Kansas in the Texas Bowl is gonna go crazy.
That'd actually be really fun. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to find here. Birmingham Bowl. That's probably where they're going.
Yeah.
They're going to Birmingham.
There you go,
Bowl.
Auburn. Hey, you get to stay in state. There you go.
The First Responder Bowl. That's the other one.
Yeah, that's what. I think Missouri played Army one year.
Yeah, you got the Gator Bowl. You got the Relia Quest.
Okay.
You got the Birmingham Bowl, the First Responders Bowl.
Dude, could you imagine if A&M gets sent to the First Responders Bowl?
I would actually kind of love that. The Citrus Bowl, the Liberty Bowl, the Las Vegas Bowl, the Texas Bowl, the Gator Bowl, Music City Bowl, Birmingham Bowl, the Gasparilla Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Never
boy.
would I have thought that after the Orange Bowl, A&M's next bowl would be 2 years later in the First Responders Bowl.
Let's go. I'm betting on the
kidding.
Gasparilla Bowl, baby.
Gasparilla Bowl.
Get the rings ready. We're going Gasparilla.
Oh, I don't want a Gasparilla ring.
Oh, so after Auburn, obviously that's Texas A&M. We'll break them down more in our A&M episode, but just slipping farther down into deeper in the mud. Yeah, Mississippi State coming up. That's a good one that you have to win. And then close, get Abilene Christian. That's another. If you don't win, Jimbo's fired. That's 2 wins. That's 6-4. You're probably looking at 6-5, or no, sorry, 7-5.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, unless you just pull out a miracle in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Even then, you're 8-4, 9-4 in a bowl game. That's big. I mean, Jimbo's getting another year. Like, let's not kid ourselves.
I don't know. If he loses this game this week, really think it's a possibility.
If he goes 6 and 6,
and he's out of here, dude.
If he goes 6 and 6 and loses the bowl game 6-7, I think he's gone too. But he goes 8-5, even 7-6. I think he gets one more year.
No, as long as he
I think if it's a game above 500,
week, I think he's fine.
Yeah, I think if it's a game above 500, I think he's fine. Yeah. I think I like to.
That's just assuming we win next week, which is like
which at this point
not a heavy assumption.
Which at this point,
I can't. What do you mean at this point? We were 3 points away, or they were 3 points away from beating the number 10 team. So it's not like they're like pitiful, but they're just not where they need to be.
But it would be the most A&M thing to do that, and then go and come back home and lose to Mississippi State, wouldn't it?
No. Oh, I thought you were talking about. I was talking about losing to Abilene Christian.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I thought you were saying. I was like, holy cow. No, I could totally see them losing this week.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, it would be such an A&M thing to, like, almost beat a number 10 team in the country and then come home and just absolutely lay an egg.
For sure.
So, A&M's just an enigma. The offensive line actually looked a little better against Ole Miss. Still, Max Johnson's just getting mutilated out there. You didn't have Evan Stewart. Hurts. He should be back, hopefully.
You didn't have Shamar Turner for most of the second half.
Nut punched a guy. Mississippi State could be a team that man, you just don't know, could sneak up on you. That secondary got picked apart against Jackson Dart.
No Tyreek Chappelle.
You know what sucks too? I did not start Trey Harris.
Really?
I still won, but I did not start him.
Dude,
I would have won. I would have won by like 30 points.
That one-handed catch on the sideline was insane. Insane.
He's a dog for sure. That secondary is so scary that even when the offensive line steps up, you still have that unit that can really just give you mortal wounds.
Right.
And A&M's biggest loss is the Ole Miss lost Miami. And Alabama, for that matter, just picked apart.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Just absolutely just decimated the secondary, and I think that's going to keep them from being anywhere close to the top anymore. I don't foresee them jumping back into my top 3 by the end of the season unless they do something crazy against LSU.
Yeah, that's what's going to have to happen.
Which LSU, my team in the 3.
Me too.
Yeah. Played it close for Bama for a little bit, and then just got away from you.
You lost Jaden Daniels.
And then your offense just whamp.
Yeah.
And your defense wasn't going to keep you in that game. It was going to be an offensive shootout, but losing Jaden Daniels kind of nailed your coffin there.
Pretty much.
Bama, just really stepped up in recent years. Jalen Milroe, first Bama quarterback to rush for, 4 touchdowns?
Really?
Yeah, he's like the first one ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
That didn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me
They haven't
either.
had like too many mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's been pretty pocket passer-y kind of, but it's still super impressive.
They had that tush push guy.
Yeah. Ole Miss, LSU lost Ole Miss. kind of their style of play is all like A&M in the Manziel era, where it's defense is going to get one stop, and that's enough time for our offense to go down and score and give us the differential we need to win, kind of thing. Like they're going to outscore you, not going to out defense you, if you know what I'm saying. And they could not outscore Bama without Jaden Daniels. Ole Miss could outscore A&M by 3.
Yeah.
Really, Quinshon Judkins had a great game. Jackson Dart and Trey Harris went absolutely crazy. Came up with a clutch drive at the end to close it, and then A&M's second special teams lays an egg. Missed the field goal, and you escape in Oxford. Great game offensively for Ole Miss. They really took care of business. Defensively, you gave up A&M's probably best second half drive or second half performance of the season, really.
I would say so.
Yeah, and so like that's something that if you're an Ole Miss fan, you don't hope is on Ole Miss. It's more about A&M clicking together. But again, you took care of business. Or 8-1. You're behind Bama with the head-to-head.
And you have a game this weekend. That's for sure. Like, do you think they can pull it off?
Ooh.
I mean, if they were to pull that off, where does the college football landscape shape out? Like,
man,
it'd be crazy. Like,
Ole Miss, Georgia this weekend. Man, Samford at night though.
Yeah, I know.
It won't happen.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so either.
Samford at night that's so tough. That place is gonna be packed. I don't see it happening.
No,
it will be close. It will be close. But I think Georgia pulls away. Probably second half of the fourth quarter, kind of gets ahead. Probably about 6-9 kind of range.
I expect it to be a very high score though.
Yeah, I do as well. I don't think both defenses are capable of shutting either of them down.
I think Georgia wins about 14.
I think
pulls
Georgia
away late.
Yeah, I think Georgia pulls away late and gets ahead. And that would set up a matchup with our number one team in the West later on down the line. Roll Tide.
Yes.
Crimson Tide. Really impressed with Jalen Milroe and how he stepped up. It's crazy. His progression. Hats off to him. We were making fun of him before the season started.
We were.
Didn't look great against Texas at all, and now is really performing well against quality SEC competition. So, if you're a Bama fan, it's good to see it. Everyone else in the conference is dreading it because he'll at least be back next year.
Yeah.
So, back up to our number ones, and I think Georgia and Bama have solidified themselves in our past couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
And that's probably going to be your conference championship unless some crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
But right now it's kind of shaping out the rest of the conference and seeing where everybody else lies. That's the real tricky part.
Yeah, Bama would have to lose to both Kentucky and Auburn. I don't foresee that happening.
No. Negative. Yeah. I mean, Iron Bowl's weird. You never know the Iron Bowl, man.
Iron Bowl is very weird.
Iron Bowl is super strange. That's one of those rivalries that's just like anything can happen at any time.
Absolutely.
I mean, Auburn should have won a couple years ago in overtime.
Oh yeah,
that really should have been one they came away with. So you never know. More can be in store for Auburn if they can tackle Bama. But in terms of things in store, that is it for us this week. I'm Hunter Mitchell.
I'm Cade Harris.
And we will catch y'all next time.